brand new series today. Today we are going to rebuild Chelsea FC. Chelsea, a team that has had 15 years of consecutive success, is now at an all-time low without Eden Hazard. And even before that, Chelsea weren't the strongest team that they used to be in the league under Mourinho or Conte, with the lacking forward, midfield and defensive structures. Today we are going to build a squad that is good enough once again to fight for the league title, but not only just the league title, but hopefully Champions League football. And that is what we're aiming to do today. So, we got a pretty good squad anyway to start off with. And unlike real life, we do not have to sell Eden Hazard. We can just sign Eden Hazard back on, more or less. I'm pretty sure he will want to stay anyway. He should be on a 2-year contract if I'm correct, or a 1-year deal anyway. So we're pretty good overall when we look at it. Also, I think we got a good squad to start off with, especially compared to our last rebuild series. So, you know, we got a lot better, more talented players arguably. And I think that's only a positive because, you know, it means we can focus on that and we don't have to worry about anything else. Obviously, we've got some good players anyway, okay, at the squad, or in the squad, and we got, obviously, next year, Puzzlic, or we got Puzzlic, obviously, as well. We've got Kovacic, who we can, obviously, sign at the end of the year, possibly. We've also got the likes of Mount, Mason Mount, of course, Kennedy, Pedro, Willian, obviously we got Morta, who's obviously on loan, Batshuayi, yeah, we got a pretty good squad, obviously, and we got to Eden Hazard, of course, as well, our star left winger, of course. So, I think this one, anyway, will be easier than the last rebuild series that we did, or it should be. The last one took 6 seasons, so if we can either half that, like 3 seasons, or, you know, go maybe even 2 seasons, I think that's realistic. But to do that, we've got to sign players. And to sign players, we've got to spend money. So, players that we need to bring in, let's go get them. So, and by the way, I want to apologise pre-advance for a bit of a cough I've got at the moment. So, if you're finding my cough a bit annoying, I do apologise in advance. So, right, anyway, here we go. So, let's sign some players. Right, I'm going to start off with Liverpool. Let's get Liverpool, a few Liverpool players in the squad. I think that can make certainly headlines. Also, I'm going to try and dig into that Manchester City squad as well, because if we can just take out the top 2, well, that's good anyway. Don't want David Silva. I think we'll go for Bruno Silva, 23 years old, pretty good stats. Lapati, I think we'll take him. So, yeah, you know, obviously, trying to get in some decent players this window. I think we may try and sign Edison, the Brazilian goalkeeper. So let's try and sign 1 or 2 of them current players that we've obviously shortlisted. So let's start obviously with the right winger. Probably the position I want the most, the right wing at the moment overall. Now we can't do it in 1 season because we're not in actually Champions League in this first season. We're in the Europa League. So it'd be impossible to actually win anything or win the competition and win, you know, in our first season. But so long we're in top 4 at the end of this season, obviously then we stand the chance for the next season. So that's obviously the aim, top 4 football anyway. Obviously we've got to sign some players to do that. So I'm going to try and bring in Mo Salah, obviously. Good, you know, right winger, obviously. I'm going to try and pay as little as possible. 100, I think we can get him for 100 million. Actually, let's try 90. If we can get 90, that'd be a good bargain. Hopefully, they may come down a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, so they're going to take some time. We'll wait for their response. I'm going to go for a defender. Okay, so then we'll go goalkeeper. I think Edison's better than Kepa, personally. So I prefer Edison in the squad before Kepa. Also, may aim for Bruno Silva. We'll see. I think we'll aim 40 million for this deal. Let's see if we can agree on that. They want 68. I think that's a bit too much for us to be paying out for a player like him. We'll go 45. Let's see. That's paying around just under 10 million above his actual wage or value. They're still sticking. Let's go 48. Okay, so we're going to also take some time as well on that deal. So obviously, thing is about any deal that we're trying to make in this early phase, you know, it's not going to be necessarily easy to get the deal across the line, especially when we're trying to purchase off the clubs like in the same league as us, because naturally I imagine they want to get a bit more money for their performing player, which is obviously quite understandable. Anyway, we're going to try and get 17 mil. If we can get Bruno as well, because I want to see how many players we could maybe wrap up. Okay, so right, that's good news. We've got Bruno, so we're going to skip a few days down the road. So if we want, we can sign Bruno. I'm not going to make any rush to sign Bruno Silva yet, because he should give us about 10 days to go into that contract negotiation with him. I'm just waiting to see whether or not these lot come back. Okay, so right, Edison is possible. They would actually take 54 million. I think I may actually go negotiate this right winger. I think if we can get maybe, I'm gonna say I may actually fall through with the deal of Edison and Silva. I'm gonna actually take that deal. Okay, I'm gonna take Mo Salah for that 103 million, and I'm gonna fall through for the other deal. I'm going to try and look elsewhere for a centre back. You know, somewhere, you know, that will be a bit cheaper maybe. In that centre back position, of course. But obviously, first signing of the, you know, rebuild series is Mo Salah coming into the squad. So Mo Salah's the first guy who's been picked up then here in this series. So we're going to now have a look at other positions. I do think the place we need to fill is obviously that centre-back position. So yeah, I'm going to have a look elsewhere now, just at some centre-backs or some players that have a good defensive calibre, because that's all you want, somewhere with good defence. You know, so just going to have a look through here. Ooh, he's a decent player, but I don't want him a bit old, he is. Obviously, again, I like to try and keep my squad as young as possible, by the way, in these rebuild series, because obviously it's good for later on down the line. The younger you can keep your squad average age in this rebuild series, I always find it's better anyway, even in career mode. It's best to go for your young players rather than the older players. Yes, you know, you could buy Cavani, he'll do for maybe 2 or 3 seasons, yes, and give you excellent goal ratio, but look, Mepe, okay, Kylian Mbappe would be much better to sign. He's only 19 years old. You know, value for money there you're getting, especially if you can sign him, is absolutely brilliant. Or, obviously, Neymar Jr., he would also be a decent player anyone would want to bring in. Anyway, let's see how much Kimberley would be. He's a good French centre-back. He played well at the World Cup. This guy could be quite good. Mascherino, I think, or whatever his name is. Probably said it wrong anyway. But oh well. Anyway, don't want Buffon. Jeez, Buffon 40 years old at Paris Saint-Germain. Jeez, 40 years old, still going. He's old. Right, anyway, we're gonna have, obviously, we're just looking for a centre-back now. Just someone who can bring in experience, but also, not just experience, but decent quality to the squad. Kimmich could be good. He's 23 years old, pretty young. Sully. Okay. So, right, we're just gonna have, obviously, a look, see how many of these players could I maybe even sign. We're gonna actually not want these deals, so we're gonna reject the offer. How can we remove that offer? Gonna offer him such a low, what you call it, value anyway. That would accept a wage this low. It surprised me if he did. If he did, it'd be a bargain, but yeah. Anyway. Right. Can obviously go straight into a deal with Sully. I'm going to see how much this guy will be, the 22-year-old French centre-back, you know. Because if we can bring in two centre-backs, it would be better than one, but, you know, I would obviously wouldn't mind. I just feel like we do need something. 5 mil? Let's see. Is this too cheap? Hold it, he's off. That manager's off. Out of my office. So, right. I think we'll bring in Sully. Okay, and yeah, I think that'll be all the deals we've done. So we brought in 2 players. I think that's okay business. Especially considering, you know, we're looking, especially in this first season, for a bit of that consistency. 59 million for this guy. He's okay, good value. Anyway, 5-year deal. Again, he's going to be better than, I think, David Luiz in that centre-back position. So, you know, that's what we're looking for. And let's not forget, we do have Christensen. So I'm going to offer him a £100,000 contract. That's good. There we go. So we got 2 players in this window. We got Mo Salah, who's going to become that right winger in replacement for Willian. Willian's going to be on the bench. Obviously, David Luiz, well, Emerson's not even going to be playing football. Cahill, obviously, will be certainly not there. So, just going to sort out my bench quickly, see if there's anyone. I think we'll bring, Callum into the squad for Barkley. Give him a bench opportunity so he can come on at times. Unless now sim forward the games, of course. And let's see how we are doing at Christmas. So, obviously, as I say, we can't win Champions League in our first season because, well, we're not in the Champions League, first and foremost. But I think a good, you know, first season would be, obviously, as I say, top 4 in the league, and maybe Europa League, you know, final sort of thing. I think that would be pretty good, but so long we get top 4, it's okay. I'll be more than proud of the squad so long we get top 4. Of course, I think actually, goal-wise, we do actually have enough players to actually get us there. Because we got Mo Salah now, and we got Eden Hazard and Higuain. They should easily be able, like, individually to rack up at least 10 goals each. So that's 30 goals between them all. And that's individually. Like, in terms of midfield, I think that's our weakest spot, and the defence still. But we do have now Sully, and we do have also 1 or 2 decent replacements as well. Let's not forget that. But still, I think our weakness is certainly still going to be that central defensive area, and certainly the midfield. So that is certainly the area where we need to improve for next season, season 2, quite honestly, to be honest with you. But I think, you know, this season should be still okay. So long as I say we get Champions League, that's what counts. And look, we didn't have the best squad with Watford, and we won it in season 6. As I say, I'm aiming to do this in like 3 seasons. So, you know, there'll be certainly a part 1, probably a part 2. Well, certainly a part 2 as well, probably. So long we don't do it next season. But to do that, anyway, we have to get into the top 4. So either way we look at it, we need to have a good season anyway. And yeah, we need to, have just that season where we can all gel as players and score plenty of goals, both in Europa League and Champions League. Now, there are 2 ways to get into the Champions League, technically. If we fail to finish top 4, then we need to win, and we must win the Europa League, no matter what. So we would have to get to the Europa League final to do that, of course, and then I can play that game and get us to the Champions League, of course. So that would be more than legit, okay, to get to the Champions League, of course, and that would put us in a Champions League spot for next season. I think it would put us in the playoffs, so we wouldn't get automatic qualification. I think it puts you in the playoffs if you win the Europa League, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, obviously, that's only if we fail to finish top 4. And in all honesty, I have my doubts. I have my doubts that we will fail to finish top 4, or we shouldn't. If we finish or fail to finish top 4, it'd be a great, great shame. But anyway, I'll tell you why I mainly go to the doctor. Well, not to the doctors, but get some limb sips. To obviously help smooth my throat. Very, very rough. Woke up and it was like it, which is horrible. Not nice feeling when you have a sore throat and then you have a cough to go along with it. Makes you feel like you're dying to some degree. Anyway, let's see where we are come 31st of December. Will we be in that top 4? Where will we be in that top 4? If so, have we got through to the Europa League knockouts? And if so, who are we going up against? That's the big questions that I'm pretty sure you guys would want answered today. Now, just in case you're wondering, where's the FIFA music? I've taken it out, actually, because, or reason why I've taken it out, yesterday, when my Watford Part 3 series went up, okay, half an hour later, copyright claim on the video. Now, I appealed to the decision. I won, by the way, the actual case, or the claimant didn't dispute me, so basically they agreed. But, real shame, so just to save the hassle of all that happening again, I've decided just to take out music, just to sort of pause it. But at the end of the day, look, the music is licensed by EA Sports, okay? I didn't choose to put the music in the video or in the footage. It's in the game. It's a part of the game features, and therefore it's in it. Anyway, first 2 Premier League matches, well, 3, a win, and a defeat. Oh, a 1-0 loss to Northampton, that's not good, but a win in the league. Another win. 2-1 defeat to Liverpool. So, looking okay for now in terms of results. I think we're pretty safe in the Europa, looking pretty good there. In terms of the league, I think we should be about top 4. Possibly even 2nd or 3rd, I would say. Fair amount of wins. Yeah, I'd say around there, 2nd or 3rd. In fact, we're 1st. So yeah. Thought we had saying like 40, well, around that 37 to 40 point mark. So yeah, 4 defeats and 4 draws, 12 wins. Not bad actually. I did say in terms of goals we could score them, and let's see actually who's been doing all the work quickly. And I did say Salah and Hazard can score 10 goals each. I don't know where Higuain is. He's not even in the top 25 goal scorers, so he couldn't have any more than 5 goals to his name. But yeah, I did say obviously both of them players could certainly help, and they are doing the job. They're doing the business that obviously, well, Hazard and Salah should be doing. Obviously, right now Hazard's ahead. Now, in terms of Cahill, don't really need him for next season. Get him out of the club. He's a bit deadwood, really. Kovacic. Now, I can't really renegotiate his contract by the looks of it. And I don't want to terminate his loan, so I might as well keep him. You know, anyway, on the books for now. He's only on loan at the club anyway. So long we can sign him next season, that's more than okay. That's if we want to sign him, of course. Higuain, again, similar problem there. So we're going to need a new centre forward to replace Higuain next season. Anyway, we're going to offer Eden Hazard a new contract for a 4-year deal, and we're going to also offer Callum Hudson-Odoi a 5-year deal. So both of them two lads are back on the books for the next season anyway. So yeah, that's okay, more than fine. Obviously, we've got Morata coming back anyway, so I'm not too worried. Just need to, you know, find someone, you know, in that position anyway. Anyway, we'll now move on, and we'll now move into May, to the end of the season, more or less. And yeah, hopefully by May we'll either finish top 4. Well, right now we're actually first, so we shouldn't fail to finish top 4 realistically after that start to the Premier League season. I wouldn't have suspected, but at the end of the day, you just never know. Let's not count our chickens too soon. We've got still quite a few number of months to go till May. So, you know, obviously we've got to, you know, make sure we are not arrogant about this. And yeah, you know, hopefully we can see through the season. We're currently on top of the table, but as I say, so next up's Arsenal. Hopefully we'll win against Arsenal. But I think the main worry for, well, not this season, but for next season will be that centre-forward position, because we may not have Higuain. Also, a midfielder will need to come in, probably, so actually it probably wouldn't do me any injustice to win the Premier League this season, certainly in this rebuilding of Chelsea career mode. It'd probably do me more good than bad, actually, because obviously you get prize funding, so I'd have probably around 200 million to spend. And obviously I wouldn't also mind winning Europa League, because that'd be extra money. So we're going up against Rosenborg. Hopefully we can get a win against them in that, obviously, round of 32. Obviously, Europa League, they start from round of 32 down. Next is round of 16, then round of, well, then quarterfinals. Who's that? Not sure what badge. I know it's a Spanish club. Sevilla. We've gone up against, and should be actually quite easy. That should be, shouldn't it? Hopefully, I'm not eating my own words. Right, that should be us into the quarters. Anyway, so won't know whether we're in the quarters or not. Hopefully we got through to the quarters, and we did. And I think that's another German club, if I'm correct. It's Heppenheim, club, or Hoffenheim. That's it. I knew it was Heppenheim or Hoppenheim, whatever they call themselves. Anyway, that should be pretty easy actually. That should be semi-finals, I think, personally. So long we won, of course, which hopefully we did. FA Cup next, Cardiff. Let's see whether or not we won. Yes, we did, and I think that's Valencia. Yes, it is. So hopefully we've gotten to the Europa League final here against Valencia. Shouldn't be too hard, probably the toughest match out of the lot. And we did, and guess what? Just like real life, we're playing Arsenal in the Europa League finals. So yeah, let's obviously quickly see the results from, well, mid-season onwards. And it was a 2-1 2-0 win to Burton, 2-1 defeat to Arsenal, 2-0 win, 2-0, 1-0, 1-0, 3-1, wow, that's a decent result against them, Rosenborg, 2-1 defeat against Brighton, 3-1 win against Wolves, 1-0 loss against Fulham, 2-1 win, a 1-0, 2-1, a 1-0, a 1-0, 2-1, 1-0, 4-0, 2-0, 3-2, 3-0, 3-0, 2-1 defeat. I think we may have just won the league as well. 2-1 and a 1-0 defeat on the final day of the season, but also 1-0. So did we win the league? That's the question I want to ask myself. If we won the Premier League, that's a very, very good season. And we did. We won it by 3 points in the end. So we won 24, drew 6, only lost 8. So yeah, you know, we kept down our drawing ratio and our defeat ratio, really, compared to everyone else. And yeah, we did score goals, actually. Scored most goals out of all teams. And best defensive league. So, you know, that's not bad. I just want to have a quick look in terms of the player stats. Hazard, 14 goals in the Europa League. Wow, he's on fire. So, let's see how we also did in the league, quickly. Premier League, there we go. So, as I said, you know, both of them two players, Salah and Hazard, could easily pop in 10 goals a season. I want to see how many did Higuain get. Barely none. He doesn't even feature in the top 25, so he must have less than 9 goals for that season, which is quite a shame, really. But as I said, Salah and Hazard easily give you a return rate of 30 goals each, and they did it there as well. So, you know, pretty good. But Hazard's had an amazing season when you actually think of it. Best player in the Europa League in terms of goals. Third best in the Premier League. Now, we can play this game. I am going to play it because, you know, it's a final. Why not? It's prize, you know. And, yeah, I might as well. Hazard should get, anyway, the golden boot for the Europa League. And he's actually smashed it, really, compared to anyone else. Which is very, very good. So, yeah, for Eden Hazard, this is more of a tribute game to him, I guess. But obviously, he is staying next season. Let's not forget that. So, Eden Hazard will be here next season, because I've signed him on another 4-year deal. Obviously, so that's good. So, realistically, you know, our problem of Eden Hazard disappearing isn't such a case, certainly in this Chelsea career mode anyway. So, obviously, we're now going to crack on with the game.
Two teams ready, they hope.
So here we go then.
The final hurdle, the final Europa League hurdle, and the atmosphere is building up already. It is Chelsea, they face Arsenal, live right here on EA TV.
So we're now obviously
a special one-off occasion to bring you coverage of tonight.
Gonna play this match. Here we go then. We're
It is
away.
Chelsea up against Arsenal.
Not too sure what stadium we're playing at.
Where does it get any better? Well, it does.
I imagine it should be Baku anyway.
With finals, they're horrible if you lose. Make sure you win if you get here.
Playing quite calm right now. Obviously, should win this game against, I think, you know, Arsenal.
In central defence, and the main striker today is the Argentinian Gonzalo Higuain. And so the starting 11 for Arsenal.
Just playing, obviously, the quick,
plays with Thomas Meunier as fullbacks, and leading the
passing
line
game
is
right
the
now.
hard to defend against Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Into the box. Ooh.
No nonsense clearance.
Quite close. Already in our first attack. Mo Salah doing a good job there.
Jorginho. Good idea, that particular move. But
whatever his name is. knocks us off the ball.
Kolasinac.
Kolasinac, or whatever he said. Anyway, Arsenal now getting their men forward, but good defending by us as a squad.
Now Mo Salah. Mateo Kovacic.
And Kovacic, but
It's
obviously
with
he
Dembele.
loses the ball.
Now with Aubameyang. Arsenal
Patrick
succeeding in getting
Aubameyang.
the ball forward. What can they do from this position? Ozil. Now Minier. Thundered clear. Mateo Kovacic.
So Mo Salah now on the ball. Hopefully he'll give it that
Given away
nice
by
pass to
Chelsea.
Hazard, not quite. Ronaldo, we're keeping Arsenal quite quiet in this first half. I would have said first 20 minutes, you know,
Promising
been
looking ball.
pretty good for us.
Mkhitaryan.
Already Arsenal, so now causing our back line a little bit of problems. But not too many.
Now Mo Salah. To Gonzalo
On
Higuain.
to Kovacic. That's a foul, 100%.
Illegal play.
That will be a yellow, I imagine.
Into the
Yeah.
boot goes Socrates.
Definitely
So
yellow card,
Socrates
definite.
on a yellow. Now, I just want to have a look whether or not there would be any chance of going from goal from here. I may try it. If I may change the kick taker to Eden Hazard, see whether or not he can do anything quite special from here.
I think the referee
Let's see.
spotted the fact that the wall, the players on the wall, had moved forward. On a warning from the referee for the miscreants in the
Right.
wall.
Here we go then. So let's see.
Hazard takes it on.
Not a bad attempt.
Save made following the
We
free
got
kick,
over
and he was
the
able to hang
wall,
on to the
but
ball.
we just couldn't quite get enough power. Probably a bit idiotic. Probably would have been better crossing it in, but you know, at the end of the day, if you don't go for it, you won't know, and that's offside.
Flag has gone up here, offside the decision.
Thank God it was offside though.
Azpilicueta.
We were right napping there on the counter attack.
Now Mo Salah. He's just a thorough reader of the game. And
Right
there we
now,
saw it.
I'd say where we're getting bogged down a little bit is actually
Conte.
in
Losing custody
in
of
that-
it, Conte.
midfield. Right now with
Chelsea
Kovacic,
happy
he's
to
losing
pass the
ball for
ball
me
around
too much.
and get it forward.
Onto Mo Salah. I don't know why I've crossed it
Not messing around
over
with that clearance.
to Hazard, but nonetheless,
Aubameyang. This is Ozil.
we're playing at the West Ham Stadium, so that's the London Stadium, by the way. I thought we'd be playing at. Why aren't we playing in Baku? FIFA, fix it.
Aubameyang.
So Arsenal first, probably good shot then there in the first half.
Now the delivery.
So obviously
Gonzalo
now
Higuain.
Higuain can now break and hopefully make something out of this. And Higuain is through. He's onside. I don't know whether Kante's onside. I hope so, but Kante scoffed it.
If it's going to come off when you hit
And
it on the
I
volley in
think
that
he
fashion.
was onside.
0-0. When he struck that, you think,
Anyway,
wow,
because
and then
otherwise
all
the
of a
flag
sudden you
would have
realise
gone
where
up,
it's
and
gone.
it didn't, because it stayed down. But nonetheless, probably did need to go up in the end. And it's out for a goal kick as it goes flying over the crossbar. Then from N'Golo Conte. So yeah, Conte obviously having a good attack though. So pretty good. Arsenal there getting very dopey on their attack then. But we're now getting caught on the attack. Mkhitaryan then on the attack here. Not good. Oh, so close to being a goal then there. But luckily Kepa's got good hands, and thankfully Kepa comes good in this Europa League final, and that's half time. 0-0.
For the first half of this.
So 0-0 then as we go into the first half, and surprisingly feels like we've had better shots, but Arsenal are the ones going into half time with actually more shots, and we're going in with only the one shot, well, two shots really. In terms of possession, I would actually agree with that. Maybe I feel like we've had a bit more, but yeah, they've obviously had a bit more fouls, obviously, so Yeah, even though I've been saying that it feels like we've been keeping them quiet, they've only scored, so I'm going to try and double that in this second half and try and get a few more shots on target. So, nonetheless.
Now Kolasinac.
So Kolasinac.
He drives it in.
Oh!
Whatever it takes to keep them out.
That's
And Arsenal
pretty decent from Ozil, but luckily a deflection off one of our defenders. But actually, that probably deflection was worse for us.
On a genuine aerial threat.
Well, sometimes I'm a bit harsh on goalkeepers, but that genuinely was...
And it's Aubameyang. It could be up for grabs.
So Arsenal certainly coming out a bit fiery. Like we've made a bit of a mistake.
Terrific block there.
Again, another corner, but Arsenal looking a bit fiery in this second half. A little bit. They've already come out of the blocks fighting.
Into the centre of the area.
And that's another corner. So, obviously,
And that's a deep corner.
trying to get the ball into our own
on the
control. Kovacic. Higuain. Can he get to it? No.
Aubameyang, a player you can't
Not
really
quite.
take your eyes
Arsenal
off
certainly
as a rule, but
doing
hasn't
a
been a
pretty
bit different
decent job.
here.
Kepa though making another
Tipping it
superb
over the
save.
crossbar.
Arsenal certainly right now on the up here.
Henrik
They've had like
Mkhitaryan
5
under the corner.
shots
Well,
in
it
the
was
last
very closely marked, but
10
the header
minutes.
Not on the target.
No, just off target, and the thing is, the defender did his job, and he just couldn't quite get enough of his head on it.
So Arsenal certainly really cutting out of the blocks there, because in the first half they only had 3, so
It's
they've
with
already
Gonzalo
gone
Higuain.
5 better.
Now Mo Salah.
But it's not about how many shots you have. Sometimes it's about how much you can do. Kovacic having a crack. Mo Salah having a crack, but not quite. Mo Salah
Well, it was well
had a
worth
good
the
old
effort.
crack then
Poor
there.
technique, really. Should do better than that.
But yeah, that was good. So we've come back now at Arsenal a little bit here.
Hazard on the ball. Higuain. And Mohamed Salah now. It's with Bergwijn. They don't normally need a second
So,
invitation to give it a go on the counter.
And now
Lucas Torreira now. Niklas Süle.
defending once again.
N'Golo Conte.
Eden Hazard.
It's with Gonzalo Higuain.
Mo Salah.
Kovacic.
Kovacic.
He's through here. Only the keeper.
Oh, brilliant goal!
A goal it is at long last. They've broken
It's
the
Kovacic,
deadlock.
the player that's been kept quiet all game, has made it 1-0
See what happens.
in this final against Arsenal.
In that position just to hit the target. You can't
Absolutely
score unless you
brilliant
do. And on this
then.
occasion he does, and he scores.
Nice through the laces of Kovacic, and
Underway
that's
once
1-0
again. Chelsea with the lead in
then
this match.
for the Blues.
It's with Mustafi. Torreira.
Now I'm going to make a sub. I know who needs to come on here. I'm going to go into a... Actually, I'm going to bring on Willian, obviously. I think
The
Willian
Gunners have
now
lost the ball.
should take over that right wing spot for now.
Hazard. Will there be a
So,
tangible
Alonso.
end product? And Chelsea get a decision from the referee. And a substitution in the offing.
Gonna try and do a Ronaldo here. Oh, for crying out loud. Right.
And the attempt by Willian. And the keeper takes
Weren't
charge
bad.
in dealing with the free kick.
It weren't quite Cristiano Ronaldo, but nonetheless, it was okay. Anyway,
Bad challenge, and now it's up to the referee in terms of what to do next. And that will mean a caution.
Well,
obviously
definitely
that
a
was
card,
a
Derek.
blatant foul there, but oh well. I think it was well deserved. Sometimes
Played in there.
it's normal to make fouls
He's
like
given it
that.
away.
What was that?
No, not accurate enough at all. They had other options on as well.
If Arsenal can't score goals, then how are they going to win this match?
10 minutes left for play in this match. Kovacic lost it. Now Kolasinac. Lucas Torreira now. Ramsey has it.
Anyway,
Mkhitaryan.
Mkhitaryan now going forward with Arsenal.
Beautifully timed. Well, that's very smart defending, and now they have the ball again.
At least we're getting a bit of a deflection there.
Corner
In terms of the number of corners, we've got they've got 5, we've got 0.
And the cross is very much
Now
on.
into the box, but just falling into the feet
Here's
of
Kovacic.
Ramsey.
Tremendous intuition to win it back.
Please give a round of applause for today's man of the match, number 17, Mateo Kovacic.
So Mateo Kovacic gave him a man of the match there.
To show a commitment to attack Arsenal in these trying
So we've got
circumstances.
3 minutes of stoppage time. I don't really mind defending for them 3 minutes.
Hazard.
And on to Willian. Here's Willian, the man who
You know, Chelsea have
took
an
his
awful
flight
lot of space.
from Tottenham and then came to the
Gets
Stamford
ball
Bridge,
towards the back post this
but
time.
not quite.
And clears his line.
And that should be the final attack. Then, there, and it is. We win the Europa League, and that's our first European trophy then, but obviously we need to get the Champions League to class this as mission complete. So we're now going to go on to season 2 then here, obviously, and hopefully in season 2 we can sign a few more players and, you know, have a better season, obviously. But this season, in season 2, we can legit go for the Champions League trophy. This season we couldn't go for it because we weren't in the Champions League. We were only in, we were in the, we weren't in any Champions League. But anyway. So, obviously, we're skipping to the 30th of June. The board should keep me on after winning, I would said, the Premier League and, you know, the Europa League. I think that's a remarkable season. We've done better than Maurizio Sarri, of course. And yeah, I think that's a pretty decent job overall to do better than Sarri, of course. Who obviously suddenly heard he's got pneumonia, which isn't great news, obviously. Even though, don't get me wrong, I've never liked Sarri, or didn't like Sarri. I didn't mind him, but I think overall I preferred Conte, like Antonio Conte, because, you know, Antonio Conte did do a better job, I think, at Chelsea during his tenure, and I think, you know, the way the players treated him and the way, you know, the board treated him in the end, was a bit wrong. And I think, you know, in a way, it's put us in the position we are today. And when Sarri came in, I knew last season was going to be a tough year. Like, a manager who's won no trophy, has won one trophy, you know, and you expect them to, you know, take you to Premier League glory. Geez, you've got to be mad. And don't forget, you know, even when Conte, you know, had his second season in charge of Chelsea, like, Liverpool and Man City were miles up the road, were miles above everyone else, you know, so, you know, he was coming into a squad anyway that was miles behind the champions of England. Anyway, right. This season we need to now make, obviously, a few changes. Certainly, or a few new players. So, we got 200 million, which is good. That is what we needed, really. Now, gonna shortlist some players from here, of course. Some that I think are any good, if I think there's any good. If not, obviously, I won't spend my hard money on them, sort of thing. I've got to at least have some sort of talent to be able to get into the squad, at least. Anyway, so who should we go for? Obviously, I want them to at least be pretty decent. I think these are just all the attackers that are available currently at my. I think we could go Icardi up front. He wouldn't be maybe too dear to get. Have a look at some, players that we need to bring in. I want to bring in a left back. I think I may go Danny Alba. Actually, should be pretty good, Alba. Where is he? That's if he's still in this squad. Is he? Where is he gone? Where's Alba gone? Who bought Alba? Really? Someone bought Alba? Yeah, it looks lit. Someone bought Alba. Pretty decent player he is. Overall. Okay. I'll set that. Someone bought Alba. And yeah, I'm gonna have to look for Alba. There he is. David Alba. No, that's wrong Alba. Sorry. Pretty sure it's Alba I'm looking for. Or whatever his name. He's a pretty good player. He's a left back. Is it Jordi Alba? No, it's not Jordi Alba. I don't know his name. He's a pretty decent player. I'm not sure what country he's from either. I think he's Brazilian. Let's see. Left back. That's what we need. Brazil. Let's see. What? Oh, that's not good. Right. So, obviously looking for Alba. Obviously. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's a Brazilian or something. I know he's pretty decent. Like, not Felipe Luis. You know, he weren't bad back in the day. In all honesty. That's if we can find him. Don't think we can find him. Undo may go for this guy from Porto. Could be pretty good. Just want someone better than what we've currently got anyway. And then we need a midfielder. So I'm prioritising that midfielder this season because I think that's where we need to prioritise overall and defensively as well. Anyway, so obviously gonna try and make an approach for this guy. 26 years old, he's 88 overall, and I think would fit into that Hazard Mo Salah system that we've got already up front already. So I'm gonna offer 70 mil. I think that's a pretty good budget or money well spent on this guy. I'm going to try and stay as close to that 70 million budget here. Don't want to spend too much on this kid because there are better players on the market that I could go after. Okay, so we're going to take time to think about it. Anyway, it's only going to try and get Bruno Silva over the line this season. Go straight in there for a deal of 70 mil. They want 123, jeez. They're asking for a lot. Go 100 at most. So they're asking for an awful lot, and we still need to sign a left back, of course. I think we'll go this guy here for the left back. So just trying to, you know, I want to build a squad that's obviously good enough to go at the league again, but again also good enough to maybe work like also in the Champions League. I think we give this guy 40 mil. Right, so I think that's first signing we gotta make. Then that leaves us with 160. Then I've got to decide who do we go after, if I'm correct. So this leaves us with like 160 mil. Gonna go in pawn. That's a deal. Even though I'm going in pawn with this guy, because there are better players out there on the league that I could probably go after that would equally fill the squad. So yeah, you know, it's not necessarily a greatness still that you ever see, if you know what I mean. So, you know, gotta go after the right player. Now, I may try and make a bid for this guy. He's only 26 million. I know we've already got good centre backs now, but I feel like that's one area we're certainly lacking in at the moment. Go straight in there with 30 million. Let's see. Okay, 47. If we go 35, I think that could be a done deal. Let's see. They still want 47. Okay, 40. So that's closer to theirs anyway. If I want to get any deal across the line, SAP. Again, take some time to think about it. Really, 40 mil, that's a decent. You're getting half your asking price. So, obviously, right now we're not feeling some voids. May try and sign Frankie de Jong, actually. Obviously, someone I got in the last part, or last career mode. He's pretty good, obviously. He's, well, world class. That's what he is. He's very, very good. Overall, as centre mids go, you know. Also, gotta have a look elsewhere. Obviously, this is final season that we're doing today, anyway. By the way, so obviously, sort of trying to replace some of the players that we currently have, just to obviously bring in some of this young talent. Yeah, you know, it's not easy, even with the likes of Chelsea, who have a much better budget. So we're probably gonna go forward, sim through a few days. I don't know who we bring in. Do we bring in Silva, or do we bring in someone else? Right, they've accepted that deal. He would be a great player to have. In terms of this guy, they haven't accepted that deal. I think we're gonna go for then this guy first. Let's bring in Icardi, or whatever his name is. Play him up front. See how much money we have left over in our pot, sort of thing. And if we've got decent budget, then yeah, why not? We can maybe go get that third player that we may need down the line. But you know, like I say, it's not easy. So gotta try and find the right player that fits the squad and the mentality as well. Now, obviously, you could bring in Kembele, but then that's going to cost a bit more money. So I'm going to go for Frankie de Jong. Let's see if we can get Frankie de Jong. We did get him in our last career mode with Watford. I am going to do like another video in the future. Let's start also setting up this squad now for this season anyway. I forgot we got Rudiger, actually, in that centre-back position. I'm going to play Rudiger instead of Christensen. Right, yeah, makes more sense that. And we got Mason Mount actually if we want him. I forgot about Mason as well. Like, obviously, we used Mason Mount in the last crewmate. Obviously, that's the thing though about Chelsea. There's so much more better players and more depth to the squad anyway. So we don't actually have to worry too much about who we bring in. We can just add on. It's more about adding on to the squad that we've got rather than necessarily buying. Now we're gonna try. Oh, really? Okay, then we'll go Arthur. Right, I'll pay his whatever, you know, his fee, his release clause. I'd prefer just play his release clause. Get Arthur in. I think he'd be a decent player anyway. He's only 22, 86 overall. Must be pretty good for that age. And he's on a £185,000 contract anyway. At quite a young age anyway. So, for the talent like him, how could I resist a player like this? You know, future star, current star. So yeah, so there we go. So they are the signings for this window anyway. Obviously, I don't know, do we have a team that could maybe go and get something? I don't want to say we do, but I don't want to say we don't either. I think we certainly got something going here. Overall, like, yeah, I think that's a decent squad overall. The way we're set up is okay, you know. I'll take that this season, and you know, we've still got some experienced players. I think defensively we should be very, very good. So yeah, you know, I think, you know, I've got to take it. I've got no choice but to take it. But yeah, I'll take that as a squad goes. You know, we've got still Hazard. Let's not forget that. We've got Mo Salah. We've now got Icardi, who will replace obviously Higuain up front. So yeah, you know, in terms of that, you know, that's pretty positive. Also, you know, we've got I would say arguably a better defensive players overall, like in, you know, Rudiger. And also we brought in a left back that we may have not necessarily wanted, but you know, certainly will be better than what we had. So overall, I think you got to take that. Like, as squads come and go, I think that's a pretty solid squad. Like, is it good enough to win the Champions League? I don't know. Maybe not. No. But yeah, hopefully we'll see. We'll soon see. I could be eating my own words at the end of season 2. But as I say, I think, you know, it's going to take 3 seasons. We're in season 2 now, so we've only got only a season to do this now. To build the perfect squad capable of winning Champions League. I've just realised that. Only got a season to do it, which isn't that long when we think of it. A season to go win the Champions League, jeez. Effectively. Like, it'd be amazing if we won it this season. Truly would. And if we did win it this season, obviously, that's it. We've done it. We've completed our second rebuilding team. And, you know, actually, this is how long it could take Chelsea to return to the top, actually, kind of think of it. It could take, quite honestly, this long. 2 seasons, I would say. You know, I think certainly be competing for Premier League title again, anyway. And I think it's more or less the same for Man United as well. It takes about 2 seasons, you know, to be starting to compete once again. Like, we won our Premier League first season, which is good, but let's not lie. I think the only reason why we won it wasn't because, you know, of well, we had a solid defence, but more importantly, we had Hazard and Salah on top form. So, you know, obviously, when you've got 2 players performing at, well, world class level, how can you not win something like them 2 competitions? So, you know, like, Salah was getting the goals in the league, and Hazard was also getting plenty. They only fell 1 behind, and also Hazard was racking them up in also the Europa League. So 2 players in real top form there. Last season. Whether or not it'll be the same this season, I think we should easily get to the quarterfinal. Well, round of 16, quarterfinals. I think that's where we've got to aim for anyway. And I think that's where the squad needs to get to. If we don't get into the round of 16 or to the quarterfinals, I think there's problems, and big ones. But once again, we need to get into the top 4 regardless of what happens to even be able to compete for next season in Champions League. Of course, because if you either win the Champions League, win Europa League, or obviously get inside the top 4 in your division, once you're in or able to qualify for Champions League, you can obviously then play Champions League football. Obviously, that's how it works. They are the rules to qualify. So obviously, so long we're in Champions League or top 4 positions, that's all that counts, and that's all that we need for this squad to happen and to do, obviously. But yeah, in a way though, we're putting our faith in some mix actually this career mode, because we're not going for pure young players, we're still going for a bit of older age maybe player. Still quite young, Hazard's 29 right now in the career mode. You know, but that's what I mean, like, not all our players are necessarily as young as what they necessarily are. So yeah, we are putting our faith in the more younger talent, of course, compared to in the older talent, sorry, compared to the last one where we put it all in young talent. So sort of medium old talent we're going into. Like Caddy 26, that's not really young, that's, you know, quite old. That's when you start peaking in your career, even as a Formula 1 driver, I would say. Anyway, so we're kind of up to now that midway point in the season where we sort of just have a reflection on how we've done, see what the results look like, sort of get an image where we are in the league standings, where we are Champions League. Hopefully I think we should easily be able to get through anyway the Champions League. You know, I wouldn't have too much worry about getting through the Champions League. My main concern is actually the Premier League, like always, because I think that's where the going can get tough, especially when you're playing European football, of course. But yeah, Champions League should be a little bit easier though sometimes, because obviously you're not flying away as far. So I don't know whether or not the simulation will represent that necessarily, because when you're not flying away as far, obviously it doesn't hurt as much. Plus, there's a bit of a bigger gap between the games. Because Champions League's only played on Tuesday or Wednesday night football, not Thursday, which is obviously good as well. Anyway, we're about to find out whether or not we, you know, well, how the season's sort of going. So, obviously, first match, so we won Super Cup, which is good, and so far undefeated in the league after 4 games. Took 5 games though to be defeated. So yeah, pretty good. Are we going through? Let's have a look. So league's going well, I would have thought. In terms of Champions League, some mixture of results. I think we should make it through. I think we have. So some mixture of results. Not necessarily all going our way in the league, but yeah, there we go. Liverpool's running away with it this season. But in fact, we have the same amount of points this season as last season, so it's only the fact Liverpool's just, you know, made, I guess, one more extra step than us, somehow, or another. So Liverpool doing a very, very good job. Anyway, we're gonna re-sign players that we may need to re-sign for remainder, for whatever reason he's not re-signed. So we don't necessarily need to re-sign all these players. We only need to re-sign some of them. It's quite a big group actually. We have 12 attacking midfielders. I'm sorry, attackers. 17 midfielders, 14 defenders, so 3 goalkeepers. So got quite a large group, as it would turn out. Obviously Kennedy signing for another 3 seasons here at the bridge. Willian also doing the exact same. Pedro, quite old now, signing though for another 2 seasons. Still getting paid the big bucks. Giroud also getting on a bit. Also signing for another few seasons as well. So your players, and most of them signed or signed good deals. Anyway, so obviously we did get through to the Champions League round of 16, but we now have to send forward and pray the Lord that we can get into the final. And if we can do that, we could complete it, quite honestly, within that 2 seasons, of course. And yeah, as I say, if we can get into the final of the Champions League in our first first Champions League season, that would be pretty good. Obviously, I think the aim's got to be quarterfinals or semi-finals, really. But we got a tough match against Inter Milan. It's not going to be an easy run to actually get into the quarters necessarily. If we can get through Inter, hopefully we'll have an easier quarterfinal game, and I think that should lead up to a tough semi-final. But that's the thing about these group stages and knockouts. Knockouts are really, really tough because knockouts, obviously, you're getting drawn, and the longer you're in the competition, the more chance you're going to face a club like Real Madrid or Barcelona. And obviously, facing a club like Barcelona or Real Madrid isn't necessarily what you want. Of course, you want to, yes, play and face the best, and beat the best, but at the same time, I'd prefer an easy fixture before facing any team like Barcelona. But yeah, Inter Milan, pretty tough fixture actually, that will be, I reckon. So not an easy first round of 16 fixture there. So yeah, looking pretty tough, but hopefully we're better. And hopefully on the day we can score goals. But obviously, that's the thing, unlike, obviously, these knockouts are a bit more spreaded, if that makes sense. So, you have so many days before the next Champions League game, you have like 2 or 3 weeks to prepare for that second Champions League game, so obviously it's better, and then you have like a further 3 weeks or a month before you even get into the next round. So yeah, it's quite more spread out, the group, the knockouts, if you know what I mean. But if we obviously win the Champions League this season, we've completed the whole lot of it, and we don't actually have to play anymore. But I don't think we have got into the Champions League quarterfinal. I think Inter Milan knocked us out by the looks of it, because otherwise we would see a Champions League symbol pop up on our screens. So yeah, I don't think we have qualified for, won the Champions League this season, or can win it. So looks like we're only running for the league title now, and even that's obviously not looking that great overall, because Liverpool were leading by 8 points mid-season. So I think Liverpool should be able to wrap that up, so long they're able to stay on top form. But then I guess, considering we're out Champions League, maybe they're not. Maybe that could just give us something extra, towards the end of the season, especially against teams likewise. So yeah, it's quite interesting, but I think we're certainly going for a 3rd season anyway here, which obviously I'm going to do a part 2 because it'll take too long to do just 3 consecutive seasons. Let's have a quick look at the results anyway. So league-wise, 1-0, 2-0 defeat, 2-0 defeat. Oh, that's February, ain't it? 2-1, 2-0, 2-1 defeat, 3-0 against Bournemouth. We know what we got there. 3-2 defeat against Tottenham. 1-0. I want to check that first fixture. What was it? Ah, that's why. So yeah, we lost 3-1 on aggregate. 1-0. 1-0. Okay, against Liverpool. 2-1. 1-0. 3-0. 1-0. 1-0. 3-1. So 1-0. 1-0. 2-0. So how close was it in the Premier League in the end? And it was Spurs. So the guys who typically bottle it, well, have put a cap on it, I guess. Yeah, interesting. Where did they come from? Honestly, Spurs weren't even in the top 4 mid-season. Like, we had a point over Man City, and I think we had like 8 points over Spurs. So Spurs rocketed, it must have, that second half of the season. Wow. They had the same amount of actual draws as us, one less defeat and one more win. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, where did that come from? Spurs has won the Premier League title. And just go back to, some of their results early on. I'm positive, like 2-2 draw, you see? Like, they were nowhere in that first part. 2-2 draw against West Brom. They were literally nowhere in that first part of the season compared to us. Okay. That's interesting. Spurs wins the league despite being nowhere in that first part of the season. So, yeah. Anyway. So it looked like we're going to have to go for a season 3. Anyway, that's all for then today. And for this first part of the Rebuild Chelsea series. I think, the squad is better than what we had in the beginning. We've got Sully, we still have Hazard, we've bought Salah, we've bought Arthur, we've bought Telles, we've got Rudiger, we've got Kepa of course, we've got Conte and Hazard of course, as I've already said, Icardi. So yeah, I think, that's a much better squad than what we started with. Obviously, Season 3 will look to build upon that, obviously. And yeah, obviously, as I say, I hope we can get this done before Season 6. But prior, I want to get it done actually before Season 6. I want to get it done probably by the end of next season, or certainly Season 4 at the latest. Because, right, we rebuilt Watford in 6 seasons. Chelsea should be an easier squad to rebuild. So, therefore, I think we should be able to rebuild Chelsea within, say 4 seasons at the most, but I think 3 seasons is realistic. It would be half the time frame, because Chelsea are half the better club, of course. But yeah, Tottenham Hotspur and Harry Kane wins the Premier League for the first time. I don't know whether it's in the club's history. I think it is actually. And they've put a cap on it, onto their success, I guess, and stop bottled in it. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, then please subscribe, click that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until the next one, see you next time.